Imagine this. Lisa had been dating Jake for over a year. She adored him, but there was one thing that drove her absolutely crazy. Whenever she confronted him about something that upset her, he'd go cold and distant. One night, she saw a text pop up on his phone from a female coworker. Her stomach dropped. Her mind raced. Who is she? Why is she texting this late? Before she could stop herself, she snapped, accusing him, raising her voice, demanding answers. And just like that, Jake shut down, silent, distant, almost like he didn't even care. But here's where things took a surprising turn. Instead of letting this ruin their relationship, Lisa tried something completely different, and what happened next shocked her. What did Lisa do instead of getting mad, and why did it completely change Jake's behavior? By the end of this video, you'll know the secret feminine shift that instantly changes how a man responds to you, without arguments, without drama, and without him shutting down. Let's dive in. Why getting mad at a man backfires. Now let's talk about why getting mad at a man often makes things worse instead of fixing the problem. Women and men process emotions very differently. When a woman is upset, expressing her frustration is often a way to feel heard, validated, and emotionally connected. She wants to talk things through, release her emotions, and get reassurance from her partner. But for a man, it's not the same. When a man senses anger or confrontation, his brain interprets it as a threat. This triggers his fight or flight response, a primal survival instinct that has been wired into men for thousands of years. Back in ancient times, men had to react quickly to danger, either fight the threat or retreat to safety. And guess what? That same biological response is still active today, even in modern relationships. So when you raise your voice, confront him, or accuse him, his brain doesn't process it as a heartfelt conversation. It feels like an attack. And how do men respond to perceived attacks? In one of three ways. 1, he shuts down. He goes quiet, avoids eye contact, and acts like he doesn't care, but inside he's overwhelmed and doesn't know how to respond. 2, he gets defensive. Instead of listening, he starts arguing back, flipping the situation on you or making excuses, because in his mind, he's under fire and needs to protect himself. 3, he withdraws. He distances himself, pulls away emotionally, or even disappears for hours or days because he sees this as an emotional battleground and he doesn't want to engage. Sound familiar? This is why so many women say, why does he just shut down when I try to talk to him? The truth is, he's not trying to ignore you. His brain is trying to escape what feels like an emotional attack. Here's the kicker. When a man shuts down, it doesn't mean he doesn't care. In fact, it's often the opposite. He just doesn't know how to process the confrontation in a way that feels safe. So if getting mad at him doesn't work, what does? That's where the feminine shift comes in. Instead of triggering his defensive walls, you're going to learn how to inspire him to listen, respond, and even change his behavior without ever raising your voice. And trust me, when you start using this approach, you'll notice an instant shift in the way he reacts to you. Let's dive into it. The feminine shift, what to do instead. So if getting mad only pushes him away, what's the alternative? This is where the feminine shift comes in, a way to get through to him without triggering his defenses. The key? Stay calm, but strategic. Instead of reacting emotionally, you're going to use something called the soft power approach. This approach works because it speaks directly to a man's protector instinct rather than his defense mechanism. When a man feels attacked, his walls go up. But when he feels needed, trusted, and respected, his natural instinct is to step up and take care of you. How Lisa turned it around. Remember Lisa and Jake? Let's go back to that night when she saw the text from his female coworker. At first, Lisa's gut reaction was to snap, to demand answers, to let her emotions take over. But instead, she caught herself. She took a deep breath and made a powerful shift in the way she approached Jake. Instead of accusing him, she softened her tone and said, "Hey, I saw that text. I trust you, but I need reassurance. Can you help me understand?" The result, Jake didn't shut down. He didn't get defensive. Instead, he actually leaned in, explained the situation, and reassured her. Why? Because her words weren't an attack. They were an invitation. She gave him the space to clarify without feeling like he was on trial. She made him feel like he had an opportunity to protect their relationship instead of just defending himself from accusations. And that's the magic of the feminine shift. Why this works so well. This simple change in approach does three powerful things. 1, it makes him listen. Instead of blocking you out, he actually hears you because he doesn't feel the need to escape. 2, it makes him feel respected. Men open up when they feel trusted, not when they feel judged. 3, it encourages a real conversation. Instead of an argument, it becomes a moment of connection where he actually wants to reassure you. Now imagine this. What if you could get a man to listen, respect, and value your emotions without ever raising your voice? Well, the good news is you can. And in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly how to master this approach in any situation. Let's get into it. The secret feminine power formula. Now that you understand why anger backfires and how the feminine shift works, it's time to break it down into an exact formula you can use in any situation. This is called the secret feminine power formula, a 3-step method that allows you to influence a man's behavior without ever raising your voice. And when you master this, you go from being seen as nagging to being a woman he deeply respects and never wants to lose. Step 1, stay emotionally grounded. The first step is to stay in control of your emotions. Why? Because the more emotionally grounded you are, the more influence you have over his reactions. Think about it. When a woman reacts emotionally and explosively, a man's instinct is to either escape or fight back. But when she stays calm and composed, something shifts in him. He pays attention. This doesn't mean you should suppress your feelings. It simply means you don't let your emotions control the way you communicate. Before you respond, take a breath. Ask yourself, do I want to be right or do I want to be effective? Your goal isn't to win the argument. It's to get through to him in a way that makes him actually listen and respond differently. Step 2, use a soft but firm approach. Once you're emotionally grounded, the next step is to speak in a way that triggers his protector instinct, not his defense mechanism. How do you do this? By using the soft but firm approach. This means soft in tone. Speak in a way that is calm and inviting, not aggressive or demanding. Firm in message. Be clear about what you need from him without blaming or attacking. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me, you don't even care," try, "I really want to feel heard when I talk to you. Can we figure this out together?" See the difference? The first makes him feel attacked. The second makes him feel included in a solution. And when a man feels like he's solving a problem with you, he's far more likely to engage. Step 3, let silence work for you. Now here's a surprising psychological trick. Strategic silence. Most women feel the need to fill every gap in the conversation. But guess what? Men process emotions slower than women. If you pause after making a statement, it actually forces him to think instead of react. For example, instead of demanding, "Why did you do that?" say calmly, "I felt really hurt when that happened." Then pause. Let the silence sit. That pause will make him reflect, absorb, and respond in a much deeper way. This is where your real power is. Because when you master this feminine formula, you're no longer just reacting to a man's behavior, you're guiding it. And that's how you become a woman he respects, listens to, and never wants to lose. Now, are you ready to take this to the next level? In the next part, I'm going to show you exactly how to use this formula in real life situations. Stay with me. Remember Lisa? Instead of exploding at Jake, she took a deep breath, stayed composed, and used the soft power approach. Instead of accusing him, she asked the right question. "Hey, I saw that text. I trust you, but I need reassurance. Can you help me understand?" And guess what? Jake didn't shut down. He didn't get defensive. Instead, he actually started explaining, comforting her, and most importantly, he changed. Because here's the truth. Men don't respond well to anger, but they do respond to emotional intelligence. When you replace frustration with feminine wisdom, You shift from being a woman he avoids in conflict to a woman he deeply respects, listens to, and values. When you stop getting mad and start using this instead, you'll see a whole new side of your man, a side that's open, attentive, and eager to make things right. This shift doesn't just change how he responds, it changes the entire dynamic of your relationship. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried this approach? What happened? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who needs to hear this, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful insights on understanding men and relationships.